Hello, Scorpio. Elsie here to do a reading for you, friends. How you doing? I hope you're well. And this will be a reading for the week ahead. I hope you're doing okay. Let's find out what's going on for you. We'll do a 9-card read. Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter signs. So not just for the Sun signs. At the end of this video, I'm going to tell you all about the new sale that I have on private reads. Let's find out what's going on. I'll also tell you how to find the extended if you're interested in that. Let's find out what's going on for you, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me about Scorpio. Always interested to see what's going on with you, my sister sign. Tell me about Scorpio. We've got the 6 of Cups. We've got the Queen of Cups. Okay, I'm just going to say, is that the Queen? Oh no, it's the Queen of Wands. Just going to say, I just all of a sudden felt super confident for some reason. It feels like you're about to feel super confident about something. Okay, Queen of Wands. Just the Queen of Wands and then the Ace of Wands. Okay, so 2 wands, right? What's that? That's decision making. It feels like you're making a plan. It feels like you're making a plan with the knowledge of nostalgia. This is something that I feel that you are planning to take a big and bold move on that's super exciting or creative. And it feels like this is something that you've wanted to do since you were young or since you were a child. Or maybe it's for the last 6 months, right? For me, cups are months, but the 6 of Cups is, nostalgia is yesterday and before that. So it feels like it is something that you've wanted to do. It feels like you are making some sort of bold move because you're resilient and you don't care if you fall and scrape your knees. I'm going to do it anyway. And I feel like you're in the planning stages right now. And it feels like something that is kind of exciting. We've got the 7 of Wands. We've got the Queen of Pentacles. We've got the 8 of Cups. We've got the King of Swords. Oh, this is interesting. I'm going to throw down the cards and then I'll tell you what's going on here. We've got the Magician. And we've got the Hermit energy. And I feel like we're going to put down 2 cards. I was going to say I feel like there's something here that you're really ready for. Like you've gone over all the details and you're really ready to just stand up and be counted. To stand up for yourself and throw a boundary at somebody real time. That's what it feels like. Okay, we're going to put down 2 cards to see what's going on underneath the surface. We've got the Queen of Swords and the Temperance card. Yes, it looks like you are about to, I'm going to say it feels like you're about to liberate yourself, like you're about to stand up and be heard. But I feel like it's going to be at a time when you're not expecting you're going to do it. It's not like somebody said, hey, can you come be a keynote speaker? You're going to be speaking about this subject at 3:00 on Friday. It's not that. It's like, I just have to say it. And it feels like it comes out all of a sudden. You plan to say it because there's a plan here. You plan to do it, plan to say it. But I feel like this is the liberation point. We've got the 3 of Swords in the reverse. Okay, why I said this was interesting. It does feel like the heart of the matter, being the Queen of Pentacles, that you do have the good health, time, effort, you have the resources, you have the stability to be able to now stand up for yourself and say, no, it's not going this way. Nope, this is the way it's going to be from here on in. I feel like you've created some sort of independence or stability, and you've got this place in your life now, Scorpio, and that you can now move forward and do whatever it is that you want. But look, I feel like you are doing it in an energy of knowing the truth and detaching your emotions. Like I feel like you're no longer going to put up with some shit. That's what it feels like. I'm no longer going to be putting up with this. Because when you're educated, when you have money, more money in the bank, like when you have stability, I'm not talking about millions, I'm talking about enough for a couple of months, or if an emergency shows up, you do have a little bit more wiggle room. You have the ability to make choices and to make the choices that you want to make rather than having to go along with whatever somebody else is telling you. It does feel like this, like I said, is a decision that you're making based on something that you've wanted to do for a long time, but you knew that you had to get into a place of stability, financial, time, effort, energy, or maybe your health. You had to get in this independent stability stage before you could stand up for yourself, because when you are somebody who can't support yourself, you depend on someone else for your finances, or a place to live or something like that, you can't necessarily stand up for yourself, because that person holds all the purse strings. And that person can say, well, leave. If you don't like it, get out, knowing that you have nowhere to go. But I feel like this 8 of Cups is telling me that you're coming up with a plan that is going to allow you to detach from your emotions and just say, look, I'm out of here. And not have to deliver it in a kind way, not to have to sugarcoat it, to finally say to somebody, look, this is the answer. This is the truth. I've gone over the details. You owe me half the house. And when I get that money in my bank account, then I will be buying a new house. Like, it feels like this to me is the lawyer, the judge, the magistrate, the person who is highly intelligent, has all the details, has looked at all the facts, the person who has looked at what we own together, or what we own together, what I own opposed to what you own, and knows their rights. Right? This is somebody who knows their rights because possibly they've checked with a lawyer, or they are a lawyer, or somebody who's just really highly intelligent. I feel like you are about to create a new reality. I'm going to say that it feels like somebody here with the Magician and the Hermit has gone inward to realize that I'm the one that's in charge here. You don't get to tell me what to do. I get to do whatever I want to do. The thing is that you need more knowledge, you need more information. I feel like you need more input or more information about the analytics, about the dollars, the cents, the money. It feels like this Hermit energy is part of the planning stage. Because when you decide to detach, you want to be able to detach cleanly. You want to be able to have enough money in the bank. Look, this could be about wanting to quit a job. Like, maybe you're just sick of the rat race. Maybe you just want to quit a job, and maybe you're starting to prepare by saving money, putting money in the bank, gaining your stability, making sure that you're in the right health, making sure, that you're in the right mindset, right? Health and mindset. Make sure that you're in the right mental health. It feels like you're about to make a bold move that excites you because it's something you've wanted to do for a while. You've been thinking about it back there for a long while. It feels like it's exciting. And you know that when you cut away, you've got to be able to support yourself mentally, physically, right? Financially. I feel like you are, if you haven't gone there already, that you are in this Magician and Hermit energy, because it almost feels like that's where you're getting all your information from, right? You're getting all of your information from the King of the King of Swords. You're going over details, and you could be reading books, you could be checking into things, you could be checking into markets, into jobs. Maybe you're going to get an interview. This to me is also a person who can hire you. You know what I think? I think that you're over something here. The Three of Swords at the bottom of the deck tells me I'm kind of over it. I'm over not knowing what's going on. I'm over with, like, the Sun in the reverse to me is still the Sun, but it's a place where it's like you're not learning anything. You're not growing any longer. When the Sun is in the reverse for me, it's still the Sun. You can still see everything that's going on around you. And I think that what you've come to a realization of, I'm not going to allow it to bother me to the point where it's going to break my heart or disappoint me. I feel like you've realized that the place that you are is a place where you're no longer growing. Whether that means it's in a relationship, a marriage, or a job, like a career. It feels like somebody here is about to move on. Looking, like you can see this person looking over their shoulder, right? And so looking over their shoulder, like, I hope nobody's following me, but I definitely don't want the chaos to follow me where I'm going, because where I'm going is the calm. So I do feel like somebody here is going to make a big move. You are planning to make a big move, but I do believe you're keeping it really silent because the Hermit is here. I don't think you're telling anybody, but I do feel like you're checking in with yourself. Do I have all the tools? Do I have enough resources? Do I have all the skills that I need to make the bold move, to make the decision that are going to work with my plan? It feels like you've been planning for a while. Let's talk about this Queen of Wands, because I feel like the Queen of Wands is dying for independence. I don't want to be dependent on anybody anymore, not for my thought process, not for my money, not for the actions that I take. I don't want someone to be able to say, no, you can't go that way. I want to be able to go that way. Tell me why the Queen of Wands is here. We've got the King of Wands. Interesting. Why is the King of Wands here? Six of Swords came back out here. It was on the bottom of the deck earlier. Tell me about the Six of Swords. Is the Nine of Swords. Okay, so I feel it's your wisdom that's going to power you forward. You are, I feel, pursuing something of excitement, of value. It feels like something you've always wanted to do, and it's really exciting, but it is a brand new path. And I feel that you'll be walking that path on your own, or you're planning on it, because the Queen of Wands is the one who's making the big move. And that's the one who doesn't care if they fall on their face. They're just going to get up and be resilient and keep moving. So it feels like you do have enough wisdom. I feel like you're gaining wisdom, you're calling in wisdom, but I also feel like you're ready to pursue whatever it is that you want. But you know you're going to have to leave where you are in order to do that. And that's where the worry comes in. I feel like you're a little bit worried, or you're just kind of stuck in the mind trying to make the plan. The plan is, I need to leave, right? Six of Swords. The plan is already in motion, by the way. As soon as you decide you can change, your plan is in motion. As soon as you decide, yeah, I'm going to look into that, see if I can make a change, your plan is already in motion. So I feel like you are planning here to become probably financially independent from someone, or you're planning to leave a job. That's what it feels like with this Seven of Wands and the Queen of Pentacles here. Ultimately, you want to be able to support yourself and make the decisions you want to make because you're educated enough, you're healthy enough, you're somebody who has enough money in the bank that if a job doesn't come immediately, that I don't have to really worry for a couple of months. We've got the Knight of Cups. We've got the Star. It feels like you don't agree with something in the environment. It does feel like you are... You know, I think that with the Knight of Cups here, with the Star, it feels like somebody here has fallen in love with potential and is hopeful that it's going to work out. But I think that after a time, the clarity has come. And after you look at all the details and the facts, and you really break it down into analytics and practicality, I don't think what you're doing right now is working for you, Scorpio. And it feels like you are... I think that you fell in love with potential, or this dreamy idea of, oh yeah, it'll just work itself out. And here we are, still in this place, having not healed. It's not a healing place to be. You're hopeful that it's going to work. You know, I stayed in a marriage for 21 years like that. Year 5, I was hopeful it was going to work. Year 10, I was hopeful it was going to work. But I'm a Taurus, right? So just like you're my sister sign, right? So a fixed sign like that. It feels like you are so loyal that you were hopeful it was going to work out, and you saw the potential in it, but the potential never really materialized. We've got the Eight of Wands, and so now it's time to go. We go from the Seven of Wands to standing up and saying, look, this isn't working for me. And if I'm going to stay, something here has to change. I don't know that something is going to change because I feel like you were hopeful it was going to work and it hasn't changed up to here. So we could be talking about, like I said, a relationship or a job, possibly a career switch. But the Eight of Wands tells me, I got to go. And there it is. The Eight of Cups is like, look, no offense, friend, but I got to give you my back. I got to go because I'm not settling for this anymore. It feels like somebody is detaching from their feelings and going off to find the Two Cups, to find somebody or something, could be a situation or a job that really matches me intimately. And so the Two of Cups isn't always about love. It is about sharing the intimate parts of yourself. So somebody here is wanting reciprocal energy in that and is not getting it where they are. We have the Four of Swords. We have the Two of Cups. There it is. We just spoke of it and it appears. And then we have the Ten of Swords. So it does feel like somebody here is about to leave a place, a relationship, or a situation where I feel that you had to heal to come to the realization that you were getting reciprocal energy to a certain point from somebody, but I feel like you're no longer getting that because you don't see that there's any value in it. You now feel like you're wasting time there, emotional time on the clock as well. That's what it feels like. The Ten of Swords is here. I feel like somebody emotionally betrayed you. Somebody who really knows the most intimate parts of you took that for granted or used it against you. That's what it feels like when the Ten of Swords is up against the Two of Cups for me. The Four of Swords tells me that once you healed from that, you realize this is where you got to be. I can no longer depend on this person because whatever they know about me deeply and intimately, they're going to use against me. And I don't trust that. So I feel like you start to devise a plan for whatever it is that's going to help you move forward. And I feel like this plan is going to take you to exciting places. But I feel like the fact that you've got to go here is like, I don't want to go though. I don't want to go. This is the little bit stubborn part of you here, Scorpio. I don't really want to go. I would rather grow here. I would rather heal here. But I feel like ultimately you can no longer be codependent. And I don't use that word all the time, but you can no longer depend on someone, excuse me, for your happiness, for love, for offering you a career that makes you happy. You can no longer depend on this person. Tell me about the Magician, because the Magician is really ultimately the place where you have decided, I've got all the power. I'm taking my power back and I'm going to use it to create my reality in the way that I see fit. So I feel like that's what the Magician energy is here. We've got the Seven of Pentacles now. We've got the Emperor. I like it. And we've got the Six of Wands. You want me to show you who I am? I will show you who I am. If that's not the most Scorpio thing I've ever heard in my life. Right here. And I don't care who's watching. I'm going to get my victory. Whether you think I can have my victory or not, I am the one that's now in control. This is what gives you control. Education, finances, being independent, getting your own stability, making sure that you are feeding your body in the right way so you're healthy enough to go. It feels like somebody here is like, you want me to show you? All right, well, here we go. Because it feels like you really start to put a lot of work into here. You start to work with intention. So now you have an intention. Maybe you're in the job from hell, and now you know, well, if I become the perfect employee for about 6 months and take on as much overtime as I need to, I can put that all in the bank. It'll give me some stability for me to be able to just walk out one day and say, see you later, right? So I think that the Seven of Pentacles is telling me that you're about to work really hard on something, or that you are currently working really hard on taking control of your own reality. That's what the Emperor and the Magician are giving me. Look, I'm the one in control now. I gave away my control for a little bit because I thought I could trust you with it, but now I am the one that needs to be back in control of my own empire. We're going to go into the extended and we're going to talk more about this. We'll talk more about this because look, you're liberating yourself from something, friend, and you're doing it in a moment's notice. I don't think you're giving, if it's a job, you're not really giving notice. If it's a person that you're living with or married to or in a relationship with, I think you're just going to say, you know what, I'm out. Lose my number. I think I'm done here. It feels like it's going to be a sharp conversation that is going to lead to your Nine of Cups. It's going to lead to you being the happiest inside and outside that you've ever been, because now you don't require external validation in order to be happy. I think you were holding back for a very long time. I think you were holding back because you knew if you let that lion go, that's it. All bets are off. And I think that you were really controlling yourself. So I feel like there's a very sharp, honest, truthful conversation coming up, the talk, and it's going to lead to your alignment. The Nine of Cups is here. If you want to come into the extended and watch how I pull the rest of this apart, we'll find out what is lurking under the surface and how it is that you liberate yourself from this situation. If you want to look at the extended, please go to the pinned comment that is atop all the comments. Please click on read more. In that pinned comment, there are a couple of links, one for private reads, one for the membership area, which is where I'm going to go and pull the rest of this apart. If you're interested in a private read, please know I have a sale on right now until the 4th of May for 10% off of all my pre-recorded readings. So take the link to Hypsee, take a look at all my packages, timeframes, and you will get 10% off on checkout on anything that you're interested in knowing about, and any one of those packages. I also read live. If you'd like to do that, please check my schedule and book in advance. You will get 5 to 75% off. I'm going to go to the extended. Thank you so much for being here, Scorpio. I'm going to go, but I'll be back because I'm always back, friends. See you then. Bye-bye.